Well, hello there. Okay, this is full moon in 29 degrees Capricorn. Let's start with Aries. If you're a late degree Aries, meaning past 20 degrees, like 25 or say to 29, and you can go a little bit over that. But I mean, starts, in other words, you feel the influence starting at around 20, what, about 24 degrees. Okay, in Capricorn. So it's a late degrees. Or if you're in 2 or 3 degrees, well, that's a different story. You may not feel it because it all depends on what degrees the planets are in. It may be several planets and they have varying degrees. So if you're a late degree Aries, remember, this lunation is 29 degree Capricorn. This lunation is not an easy one personally, but it comes with a compensation. Maybe you have to let go from, maybe you have been let go from a job, but you received good severance pay. You have been told to move to another role or assume another role, or you are given more responsibilities, which you are not particularly happy about. Whatever it is that comes from the top, even the government, parents, creditors, or those who have authority, can be somewhat annoying. If you're a student, not necessarily a full-time, or in other words, not necessarily in school, full-time, I mean, that you could be learning advanced materials that could be a bit too much. So if you're taking, say, a course, online course or something like that for improvement, like self-improvement or for your career, it's getting a little bit harder. So you may have to commute, or maybe your hybrid job might have to end. For some, they may have to travel more, or there's going to be lots of distant travel and communications involved in your work. Taurus. If you are an early Taurus, you could be getting a denial, or someone promised you something and that promise has been broken. But you have other compensations or opportunities. If you are waiting to hear about a job from a distance, or expecting someone or something, like even a legal document, it may not occur as expected. It could be about a job or college acceptance. However, it's not all a loss, because you could get an opportunity you desire. Your income from a job or business could still be there for support. Gemini. If you are an early degree Gemini, this lunation could bring you something that is not necessarily good, but not bad either. It could come with some strings attached, but not something that is too overt, since it does aspect you well. I'm talking about the strings attached. Whatever it is, or however it comes in, it may be not as expected. It could be an official document, and it could very well be about compensation, whether it's through the government, required by law, or some others, even retirement, Social Security, 401k, workman's comp, or something of a serious nature. It could even be divorce settlements. You can also expect delays in matters too. Cancer. If you're a late degree Cancer, you will likely see that this lunation is about financial matters. Perhaps you need surgery or some other medical attention, or insurance matters to be approved, and you could get it, but you may also have to pay too, maybe more than a copay. but I'm just saying that you have to kick in your part. If negotiating on a house deal, both parties could kick in and settle matters that way. So it's all about, if it's about wills, you could hear about it at this time. If it's about a dissolution of partnerships, marriage or otherwise, you will have a clear picture of where it could end. Both parties could be desperately waiting for it to happen. Leo. Early degree Leos might want to circumvent this situation. Others don't seem to see eye to eye with you. They could be parents, people older than you, or friends, and anybody. They could even be customers, doctors, counselors, or advisors. So it could be an astrologer too. You see clearly where both of you stand. If this is about the partner, he or she isn't on the same page. It's not a good time to go on a job interview or even a date. Both sides know where they stand. Maybe it's time to be incognito. However, if you understand what the situation is, here's the good part, then you can learn from it, or you can realize an opportunity to your benefit. See, they come with strings. This lunation comes with strings attached and some benefit. Virgo, it's time to pay close attention to your health needs. Stress can be a big factor. If you are not feeling well, you may need to chill a bit. Some of you could have been paying a bit too much attention to romance. It's time to pay closer attention to your coworkers and your work environment. If you have been dealing with property matters, you could be concerned about the proceeds from the property. You may need to keep an eye on your business or work, especially on accounting. Budget, especially budget, yes. You could be contemplating the help of a repair service businesses that provide a service, like whatever kind of service you need in your property or health or whatever. Libra. This lunation is about restrictions, not just for you, but for others too. In your case, not every Libra, but it all depends on the other planets in your chart. So this lunation brings oppositions and squares if you have planets in Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. So you can feel that it's a little constraining. You could have expenses that come up due at this time. There could be obligations that must be met. If you have a business, there could be a loss in income or loss due to expenses or just less income. If you're late on mortgage payments, that could weigh on you. If you are an early Libra, you could have experienced a crisis in the last full moon in Capricorn on June 21st, and that was last month. And that got everything to this point now. Obligations and responsibilities are coming to head at this time. You may be at the end of the road. Some of you could be experiencing skin problems, and that's just a possibility. I'm not diagnosing anything, but I'm just saying that there could be such a possibility. And although it could come from stress, well, this is the lunation. Scorpio, you may be concerned about your relatives near and far. You might even contemplate quitting your job. However, romance, children, and vacation could bring you a better place. You may have been back and forth with relatives and you're ready for a restful night. Try not to overthink. You're actually in a better place than many others. Sagittarius, you're not out of the woods yet when it comes to finance and obligations. Some of you may be desperately trying to generate income to pay your bills. Some of you may be working at home. Your health is okay, even though some of you could be experiencing eruptions from the weather and allergies. Just de-stress. Capricorn, if you are a late degree Capricorn, this lunation could find you desperately seeking to move on in life. Some of you could find life too encumbered by responsibilities and obligations. You need to chill for now. You could go on a short trip or visit with your children. If you are dating, you may be wondering, when will you find someone more steady? There tend to be unbonded or unusual sudden attractions that may have turned out to be nerve-wracking. However, this type of romance could continue for a while. Aquarius. For early Aquarius, this lunation occurs very close to Aquarius, but not in Aquarius. However, you will likely be affected. We have a situation where you are not fully aware of how others are perceiving you, but it hits you, and there could be parting of ways. This could be with a co-worker or even people or contractors who provide services from help to repairs. In other words, you could have a change of mind if you have already contracted to do some work or whatever services that you contract out. So you could have shopped around and found something better. But again, this lunation, and I've been saying this to others too, you're basically at the end of the road and you're desperate to make your move and get it over it, put everything behind you. But it's not bad because you see everything in full light, and you'll also see there are opportunities that presents itself. Now, Pisces, some of you are now working from home and still have a lot on your mind, but there seems to be some level of peace. The problem is not so much the goal in life, but the strategy on how to get to that goal. Although this lunation is more about work, it keeps one in a desperate feeling of wanting to get out of these restrictions.